Chapter 1, verse 2.
Allah, Lord of the worlds.
When Allah, the Exalted, created and sustains the universe, a Muslim should understand that they will never gain success and peace through his disobedience, if they remain sincerely obedient to him, by fulfilling his commands, refraining from his prohibitions, and by facing destiny with patience according to the traditions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Then he will ensure they obtain success and peace in both worlds, as he alone controls everything which occurs. Chapter 65, verse 2.
And whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out.
In addition, the main verse also encourages one not to stress about the things which occur within their lives, as the Lord of Worlds will ensure they successfully overcome all the situations they encounter. This will encourage them to focus on his sincere obedience and not pay attention to the creation or the situations they face. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, indicated the infinite and absolute power and authority of Allah, the Exalted, in a narration found in Jami' at-Tirmidhi, number 2516. This hadith advises that the entire creation cannot benefit a person if Allah, the Exalted, did not desire them to do so. Similarly, the entire creation together could not harm someone if Allah, the Exalted, did not desire them to. This means only what Allah, the Exalted, decides happens within the universe. It is important to note that this advice does not indicate one should abandon using means, such as medicine, but it means that one can use the means as they have been created by none other than Allah, the Exalted. But they must understand that Allah, the Exalted, is the only one who decides the outcome of all things. For example, there are many sick people who take medicine and recover from their illness, but there are others who take medicine and do not recover. This indicates that another factor decides the end result, namely, the will of Allah, the Exalted. Chapter 9, verse 51.
Say, never will we be struck except by what Allah has decreed for us. He is our protector.
The one who understands this knows that anything that affected them could not have been avoided, and those things which missed them could never have been obtained. It is important to note that whatever the end result, even if it is against a person's desire, they should remain patient and truly believe Allah, the Exalted, has chosen the best for them, even if they do not observe the wisdom behind the outcome. Chapter 2, verse 216.
But perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you. And Allah knows, while you know not.
When one truly understands this truth, they stop relying on the creation, knowing they cannot innately harm or benefit them. Instead, they turn to Allah, the Exalted, seeking His support and protection through sincere obedience by fulfilling His commands, refraining from His prohibitions, and by facing destiny with patience. This leads a Muslim to trusting in Allah, the Exalted. It also encourages one to only fear Allah, the Exalted, as they know the creation cannot harm them without the will of Allah, the Exalted. Recognizing that all things which occur within one's life and the universe originate from Allah, the Exalted, is a part of understanding the oneness of Allah, the Exalted. This is a topic which has no end and goes beyond only superficially believing that there is none worthy of worship except Allah, the Exalted. When this is fixed in one's heart, then they only hope in Allah, the Exalted, knowing He is the only one who can help them. They will only submit and obey Allah, the Exalted, in all aspects of their life. In reality, a person only obeys another in order to receive protection from harm or gain some benefit. Only Allah, the Exalted, can grant this, therefore only He deserves to be obeyed and worshipped. If anyone chooses the obedience of another over the obedience of Allah, the Exalted, this shows they believe that this other can bring them some sort of benefit or protect them from harm. This is a sign of the weakness of their faith. The source of all things which occur is Allah, the Exalted, so Muslims should only obey Him. Chapter 35, verse 2.
Whatever Allah grants to people of mercy, none can withhold it. And whatever He withholds, none can release it thereafter.
It is important to note that obeying a person which encourages the obedience of Allah, the Exalted, in reality is obeying Allah, the Exalted. For example, obeying the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. chapter 4, verse 80.
He who obeys the Messenger has obeyed Allah.
In addition, when Allah, the Exalted, alone manages the affairs of the universe, one should place their hope and fear in none other than Him. In a long divine narration found in Sahih Baqarah, number 7405, Allah, the Exalted, advises that He acts and treats His servant according to their perception of Him. This means if a Muslim has good thoughts and expects good from Allah, the Exalted, He in turn will not disappoint them. Similarly, if a person harbors negative thoughts about Allah, the Exalted, such as believing they will not be forgiven, then Allah, the Exalted, may act according to their belief. It is important to note, there is a vast difference between true hope in Allah, the Exalted, which this hadith refers to, and wishful thinking. Wishful thinking is when one fails to strive in the obedience of Allah, the Exalted, by fulfilling His commands, refraining from His prohibitions, and by facing destiny with patience, and then expects Allah, the Exalted, to forgive them. This is not true hope, it is merely wishful thinking. This is like a farmer who fails to plant any seeds, fails to water their crop, and still hopes to reap a large harvest. True hope is when one strives to obey Allah, the Exalted, and whenever they slip up they sincerely repent and then hope for the mercy and forgiveness of Allah, the Exalted. This is like a farmer who plants seeds, waters their crop, dedicates effort to keeping the crop healthy, and then hopes for a large harvest. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, has summarized this explanation in a narration found in Jami' at-Tirmidhi, number 2459. Generally speaking, a Muslim should harbor more fear of Allah, the Exalted, during their life, as it prevents sins, which is superior to hope, which inspires one to perform righteous deeds, especially the voluntary type. But during periods of illness and difficulty, and especially at the time of death, a Muslim should have nothing but hope in the mercy of Allah, the Exalted, even if they have spent their life disobeying Him, as this has specifically been commanded by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, in a narration found in Sahih Muslim, number 2877.